This video will explore the prosecution's case in the first murder trial of silent film star Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. The Arbuckle trial marked the first Hollywood star murder case happening during the Roaring '20s. The prosecution had a plan to prove the beloved comic was guilty of a heinous crime. The silent film era saw the rise of the star system, and Arbuckle was a top-paid actor. Simultaneously, moral reform movements and media sensationalism, led by William Randolph Hearst, were highly influential. The Roaring '20s fostered a decadent culture where wealthy individuals often acted with impunity. Roscoe Arbuckle's celebrity status in the silent film era was a significant factor in the surrounding controversy. The incident occurred on October 13, 1921, at the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco. Victim Virginia Rappi was an actress and model. Allegations of rape and a ruptured uterus led to the murder charge. Hearst's papers sensationalized the trial, targeting Arbuckle's life and career. This, quote, yellow journalism fueled public interest and greatly influenced the ongoing moral reform movements. The legal case focused on California Penal Code statutes. Statute 187 defines murder with malice, and Statute 192 defines manslaughter without malice. The jury consisted of 12 men, and possible verdicts were murder, manslaughter, or acquittal. The 12-man jury from San Francisco County faced possible verdicts of murder, manslaughter, or acquittal. The first two trials resulted in a hung jury, but Roscoe Arbuckle was ultimately acquitted in the third trial. The prosecution's core theory hinged on a sexual assault leading to death. They aimed to prove Arbuckle intentionally or recklessly caused Virginia Rappi's death by demonstrating both actus reus and mens rea. Key prosecution arguments focused on the alleged sexual assault and violence. Prosecutors needed to prove the act and the guilty mind, emphasizing that the sexual assault led directly to Rappi's death. Jealousy and possessiveness, alongside alcohol-induced aggression, were presented as motives. Witnesses detailed Arbuckle's previous arguments and flirtations with Rapp, suggesting reputation protection was also a motive. The means and opportunity were established by Arbuckle, having exclusive control over the locked private suite. The timeline placed Rappi last seen at 10:30 p.m., with Arbuckle leaving the suite alone at 11 p.m. Medical evidence was crucial for causation. The autopsy revealed a severe uterine rupture, which medical experts argued was caused by blunt force trauma resulting from a violent sexual assault. Alternative explanations were discounted. The prosecution's opening statement structure was designed to set the stage by detailing the night of the incident, presenting the reckless conduct theory, and previewing all evidence, including witnesses and autopsy results. The opening statement hook sought to gain the jury's immediate empathy for Virginia Rapp, framing Arbuckle as a cruel perpetrator. The strategy was to shift focus from media frenzy to Arbuckle's actions, establishing a theme of brutality and loss. The opening statement focused on several themes: Arbuckle's abuse of celebrity power, the incident as an act of violence, the irreversible harm to Rapp, and the core issues of power, violence, and consent. Key prosecution witnesses testified against Arbuckle. Bambina Maud Delmont was a central figure, although her initial statements were inconsistent. Her testimony supported the murder and rape charges. Dr. Haynes, Rappi's attending physician, testified about observing severe internal bleeding and a torn uterus. He stated the injury was consistent with violent sexual activity and a forceful blow. John McCarty, a fellow actor, provided crucial testimony. He observed Arbuckle's aggressive demeanor and noted repeated, quote, slapping gestures. He also heard a sharp gasp and a thud around 10:45 p.m. Margaret Sullivan, the maid, testified about entering the suite at 11:15 p.m. and finding blood-stained sheets and a broken bottle. Earlier, she had heard a woman sobbing, suggesting distress. Detective James O'Leary led the initial investigation. He conducted the first interrogation of Arbuckle at midnight, noting inconsistent statements and a lack of an alibi. Evidence included bar receipts and hotel key logs. Maud Delmont served as a central prosecution witness in the first trial. Her testimony was critical for the rape and murder charges, despite her initial statements being inconsistent. Delmont's conflicting story posed a challenge, yet the prosecution relied on her account to support the assault, emphasizing its crucial role in the overall charges. Witness credibility issues centered on Delmont's inconsistent statements, which the prosecution still relied upon. Detective O'Leary also noted Arbuckle's own conflicting accounts. Physical evidence included the autopsy report confirming a severe uterine rupture, indicating violent sexual assault. Hotel records showed Arbuckle's continuous presence, and bar receipts documented large alcohol orders. Circumstantial evidence included Rape's diary entry showing excitement for the party, media demands for accountability, and studio pressure on Arbuckle to avoid scandal, connecting to themes of morality. The closing statement strategy aimed to reiterate the core theory, summarize evidence linking Arbuckle's actions to Rape's death, and request a guilty verdict based on reckless conduct and causation. The recap restated the theory of reckless behavior causing death. Key witnesses like Dr. Haynes established causation, while McCarty and Sullivan provided motive and physical proof of the incident. The emotional closing appeal sought the jury's empathy for Virginia Rape, whose promising career was tragically cut short. The prosecution argued that Arbuckle betrayed Rape's trust, and that fame should not shield him from a murder verdict. In summary, the prosecution presented a comprehensive case for murder, arguing that evidence points to sexual assault causing Rape's death through intentional or reckless actions. They requested the jury to find Roscoe Arbuckle guilty of murder. The first two trials resulted in a hung jury, but Roscoe Arbuckle was ultimately acquitted in the third trial. The jury even issued an official apology for the ordeal, though Arbuckle was later blacklisted by Will Hayes. The prosecution's failure was partially due to witness credibility issues and conflicting stories, particularly with key witness Maud Delmont. Additionally, the defense likely countered the medical evidence regarding the uterine rupture. The legacy of the trial includes increased scrutiny of Hollywood and the implementation of the Hays Code. It highlighted the power of sensational media and the fragility of celebrity in the face of public scandal.